Community Ties Program with Alex Mikos on Tiger Country 97.5 WTGR.
All right, like we do each and every weekday, we sit down with a member from the community to talk about an organization or an event. Very happy to, we got a packed house here in the WTGR studios. As four people have joined me this morning as talking Junior Fair, and Beth Martin has joined us, also board member of the Darke County Agricultural Society, Velma Campbell, and the king and the queen, royalty here in the WTGR studio is King Tommy Shaw and Queen Jenna Cline. And for the four of you, good morning, and thanks for joining me.
Good morning.
Good
morning.
We got a great crew, and a week away. Here we are next week on Friday. We are going to be running around enjoying the great Darke County Fair, and it's sort of hard to believe. And Velma, it's got to be exciting, but it's also got to be sort of nerve-wracking. I know last night you had a board meeting, and it's crunch time.
Yes, it is crunch time, but we're going to be ready, as we are every year, so everything's coming along nicely.
And we will have one more meeting before the big get-together, which will be next week, right?
Next week on Wednesday, yes.
Wednesday, and the fair is here when lawn chairs are out in front of the secretary's office. And boy, they were out last night.
They sure were.
So folks got their spot and getting ready to go. And also joining me, part of Junior Fair coordinator and advisor Beth Martin. And Beth, it's a busy time, but it's a fun time. And I think it's great that this morning we're going to get a chance to talk about Junior Fair, which I think some people might not have a great understanding of what it all entails because there's a lot going on at Junior Fair, and there's a lot of things that people might be unsure about when talking about the organization as a whole.
Yes, actually, the four of us just came from the fairgrounds. We was in the midst of setting up the youth building booths for the 4-H and FFA and the Gateway Youth and Boys and Girls Club and FCCLA that come in and put up booths to show off what they've done through the year, their projects.
I know last night Dick Delk was saying that he really enjoys that process and what you did this morning, and a lot goes into that. And you mentioned the groups that are involved in Junior Fair, and that it's those three entities, or are there more?
No, there's more. We've got 4-H, we got FFA, we got the FCCLA coming out of the local schools along with the FFAs. We have our Boys and Girls Club. We have our Gateway Youth, and we have our Scouts. The Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts are all involved in this.
Wow. And so total across the board, do we know how many members are in Junior Fair?
We're right around that 1,500 mark every year.
1,500.
That's kids.
My, oh my.
That doesn't count all the duplicates where one may be in 4-H and in FFA. That kid could be in both, and I'm only counting them once.
As an outsider, and this is just a curious question, but if I'm part of 4-H, am I a part of Junior Fair?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
And the way I look at it, a lot of them try to figure out where that divide is at, but the 4-H clubs, they do that within the county. I consider when they come to the fair like they're finalizing their projects. They're showing off what they've learned all year long by coming to the fair. And that's even livestock, general projects, whatever, because we've got different things going on for the kids that do not do the livestock part.
You have different departments. You have a lot of folks that are involved when putting together such a wonderful fair, and that being the Great Darke County Fair. But it also sort of goes hand in hand with Junior Fair, as a lot of kids volunteer their time and sort of act as leaders and I guess individuals that like to carry the torch and make sure things get done. Yes,
and right now we've got right around 37 Junior Fair Board members. Most of the departments are represented by 3 reps. Like swine would have 3 reps, and then the beef and the dairies each got 3 reps. But then when we get over to the youth building portion, we've got 4 for the 4-H and 4 in the FFA. But they make up the group that does most of the work in their barns or in those departments. They oversee their shows.
Now, with all that, if I'm not mistaken, the King and Queen is also a junior fair entity, part of the fair.
Yes, and so the organizations that I had listed earlier, any of those can try to be a king or a queen within the junior fair. So they are eligible, but it just seems like the 4-H and the FFA are the ones who really come out and try to do this.
We do have royalty here, as they're not wearing their headgear, but that's okay. As Jenna Cline and Tommy Shaw join us here in the WTGR studios, as Tommy the King, Jenna the Queen, and I guess we'll start with the Queen. As ladies first, Jenna, what's the experience been like? And I guess before we actually get into it, just a little background about yourself and who you are, where you're from, and where you attend school.
All right. Well, I'm Jenna Cline. I'm from New Madison area. My parents are Jeff and Kelly. I am a part of Country Kids 4-H Club. I'm actually a 9-year member, and this is my 3rd term running for president. I go to Tri-Village, and I'm in the FFA through Brian Pullman, and I play volleyball, and I'm a part of what seems like everything in the school, so that's a lot of fun. Very
involved, and also the Queen for the Great Darke County Fair, which is getting underway next Friday, and boy, that's got to be great. That's got to be a really exciting time. And I know it's already sort of started for you in going with the court to other fairs.
Yeah, we've been to 9 fairs so far, me and my other 7, my whole entourage.
Whole entourage.
So we went to 9 fairs. It's been a blast. We've got to meet so many different people. Other great fairs. I love Darke County Fair. It's, in my book, my favorite. I've even been to State Fair this year, and it was just a blast.
Now, are you going to be showing this year at Fair too?
I am. I show pigs. I've been showing pigs since I was 4 years old. So I'm going at that again, and I'm on Junior Fair Board, so I'm running the whole show at the pig barn and with Junior Fair and everything that entails.
Very, very busy, and the good news is, or at least I'd like to think, now I could be completely wrong, but you got a pretty solid sidekick, and that being your king, Tommy Shaw.
Yep, he's there for me, that's for sure.
He's there for me, okay. Tom, it's good to see you. I know you spent a lot of time here at WTGR as a farm news director, but you're extremely involved over at the fairgrounds. And for you to be king, that's got to mean a lot.
It definitely does. It's something that doesn't happen overnight. I've been working on this for 10. This is my 10th year in Junior Fair, and all the work's finally paid off.
Now, for folks that might not know, a little bit of background of yourself, as you just graduated.
I did, yep. So my name's Thomas Shaw, or Tommy. If y'all know me really well, you can call me Tommy. I'm perfectly fine with that. But I did just graduate from Greenville this past May, and in the middle of fair, on the 21st of August, I'll be opening a new chapter in my life. I'll be attending college this fall down in Wilmington.
And if I'm not mistaken, we're going to talk with the rest of the court on that Thursday, which will be the 21st. I don't know if we'll talk to you because you'll be busy, maybe going down south to Wilmington. But for your time and not only getting ready for this year, but just some positives and some things that people might not understand from your own experience in working with Junior Fair.
Yeah, it's definitely, it pays off. It looks like a lot of work, and a lot of individuals are very hesitant on going out of their comfort zones, doing different projects. But it does pay off in the long run. A lot of people stick with just taking, one project those 10 years, and I've taken 4 different livestock species, market and breeding. I've taken different types of projects in the youth building through FFA and 4-H. It pays off in the long run, and don't be scared to try something new, because even though you may fail, and I'm not the one that likes failing very often, if you know me that well, but
really.
Alex, but definitely sometimes failure, it definitely helps you better yourself down the road.
We're learning a lot about Junior Fair this morning on Community Ties, as Beth Martin, Jenna Cline, Tommy Shaw, and Velma Campbell join me in the WTGR studios. And as we sort of wrap up this discussion on our first segment, I want to go back to Fair Board member Velma Campbell. Boy, these kids are great. They really get behind it, and I know we only have 2 in the WTGR studio, but as a Fair Board member, it's got to mean a lot. And I guess to the board across, when looking at all the individuals, that's what makes the fair great.
It really is, and the thing that amazes me every year is how these kids take over and run these shows. And over the years, I've had a lot of judges come up to me and tell me that Darke County is the best place to be as a judge because these kids are really with it.
Well, they are going to be in action a week from tomorrow, and we are excited about that as the Great Darke County Fair going to be kicking off next Friday. We're going to be talking about Ag is Cool in a matter of minutes. There's more to come on this Thursday edition of Community Ties. This is Tiger Country.
The Community Ties program continues with Alex Mikos on Tiger Country 97.5 WTGR.
All right, 11:23 is the time as Community Ties for a Thursday, August 7th. And when we look at next Friday, that being August 15th, it is going to be the start of the Great Darke County Fair. And yes, it is here. As last night I was over at the fairgrounds for the board meeting, and the chairs are out in front of the secretary's office, and they're getting ready to go. And a lot of activity yesterday, and driving by the fairgrounds, of course, a lot happening with the new barn, and we're going to be talking about that in just a few. But before we move on and discussing Junior Fair, as Queen Jenna Cline is here, Tommy Shaw, the King, and also Beth Martin and Velma Campbell have joined us in the WTGR studios. And Beth, we were talking during the break about Junior Fair and all the activities that are going to be taking place during the week, and it's for all ages. And
yes.
I know we discussed a few of those activities, but there's so many more. And if we could, just a couple of them, and just give people a feel of a lot of the different things that Junior Fair has to offer.
Okay, we have reviews. What that is the kids, even the Clover Buds, which is the younger kids who are not fully into 4-H, I would say, we have what's called a review. They come out and they model the projects that they have made throughout the year. They bring them out. They've wrote these cards up to be read in front of an audience, and then we have judges that sit there and grade them on this modeling that they are doing of their projects. And those reviews do start on the first Friday at 6. That is the State Fair review, and those are the ones who was sent to state after county judging by the extension office when they had their judging back in July, and they went over to State Fair, and so these are the projects that was represented over at State through Darke County.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I had a OSU extension on a few weeks ago. We were talking about the Bakerama.
Yep.
Is that a part of this?
Yes. We've got Bakerama. That is something different than the reviews. The Bakeramas start on Saturday morning. We start with we have young kids, and we have intermediate seniors, and then the adult advisor group. So there's 4 groups. We start with these younger kids. We give them an easier recipe to make. It's usually a cookie of some sort, whether it's a sugar cookie or just a chocolate chip. And then we move them on up into the intermediate groups where they're making maybe a muffin or a quick bread. And when we get to the seniors, they are given kind of a broad range. They can make me something with bananas, and they need to, whether it's a bread, whether it's a cake or something, they are given just one item that they are to use and a set of guidelines as far as how long they're allowed to bake and mix. And same with the adult advisor group. They are given just one item that they are to use in that recipe, and the seniors and the advisor adult group do need to submit 3 recipes that day whenever they bring in to prepare that. This is all done in front of judges, so the judges are watching their mixing techniques and the baking, and then the final test.
Something I would fail mightily at, basically. We're talking about the young ones. We're talking about teens, and across the board, what's neat is another sort of entity is something that has been started a few years back. It's going to be at the fair in the next week. This is Ag is Cool. What is this, Beth?
Okay, Ag is Cool. It was started by Governor John Kasich in 2011. It's been presented at the State Fair ever since then. They have it throughout their fair. We are trying to keep ours more centrally located as far as our tent, but we do offer the people to go out and visit the livestock barns and also our seed dealers and our implement dealers that's there on the grounds for this.
And there's a coloring contest?
Yes, we did have a coloring contest put out into the newspaper, the Daily Advocate, on the Sunday edition. The entries are due Saturday the 16th is when they're going to be judged. They're actually due on Friday night by 8 p.m. to the Junior Fair office there at the fairgrounds, which is there by the youth building. And they will be displayed there, and then they will be judged, and we'll leave them hanging up all week long. We are going to have some implement pieces brought in by Hall Brothers from up at Fort Recovery to help
Awesome.
with this.
And that's going to be throughout the entire week?
Yes, it'll be there. Not sure on the hours. If we get where we're really slow late in the evenings, I'm sure we'll shut it at that point. But during our heavy traffic times, it will be open.
Ag is cool. Coming to the Great Darke County Fair, and only a few fairs were selected for that,
Yes,
right?
there was one of 9. What this program was to do was to show that maybe the more city kids how they are being fed every day. It's a farm to the table kind of thing going on.
Awesome. We look forward to it when talking about next week. Unfortunately, we're sort of running out of time, but I want to go back over to board member Velma Campbell. As, of course, a lot of discussion has been on the new barn, and there was some talk last night of some other entities getting involved in trying to show their support in providing a donation to the barn.
Right. We have set up a fund, a bank fund, and the fund is called the Beef and Dairy Barn Fund. And we are accepting donations, no matter how small or how large. They're all appreciated, and anyone can pick up a donation paper at the Fair Board office, or we will have them other places also. And we'd appreciate any help we can get from the community.
We look forward to that development as we move forward and talking about next week. There's so much to talk about, but the good news is I got the Ag Society coming back next Thursday. We'll talk about some of the happenings before fair gets started, and then from the court, I'll have you guys on the Thursday after that during the fair. So before I let you go, anybody else want to throw out anything? Hey, thank you so much for coming on today's show.
Thanks for having us. You do a wonderful job.
Oh, well, thank you. As we look forward to the Great Darke County Fair getting started a week from tomorrow, that being Friday, August 15th. Tomorrow on the show, Dana Puttabaugh going to be stopping by with the Community Blood Center. Hey, DarkeCountyFair.com for more information. Big thanks to Beth Martin, Velma Campbell, the Fair Queen Jenna Cline, Fair King Tommy Shaw. I look forward to talking with them at the fair for August 21st, that being a Thursday. August the 7th, and up next, your Midday Farm Show. This is Tiger Country.